Come now, you rich, weep and howl for your miseries which are coming upon you. Some pretty glum exhortation from James as we begin James chapter 5 this Sunday, the wrap up to his letter to the 12 tribes which were scattered in the land at that time. And James is continuing kind of his warnings and his exhortations, and he's talking about how the riches have rotted them from the inside out. And he talks a lot about the love of money and leisure and luxury. But then he has this great exhortation right in the middle. He says, therefore be patient, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. The farmer waits for the precious produce of the soil, being patient about it until it gets the early and late rains. You too, be patient. Strengthen your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is near. And for me, that verse just leapt out of this part of the letter, and it's almost like maybe this is the full crescendo of James' urgency in writing to the tribes and writing what he has written, everything that we've seen from the very beginning about considering it all joy when they're suffering many things, and talking about who is blessed who perseveres under trial, and then talking about, every good gift comes from the Father of lights, and then his exhortations about the sins of partiality, and then faith and work, and all these things. And it comes to this moment where James finally says, therefore, just be ready, be patient. The day of the Lord is near. He continues then in the letter to exhort them a few more times about do not be complaining and grumbling. And then he ends with this nice benediction. He says, is anyone suffering? Pray. If anyone is cheerful, sing praises. Is anyone sick? He must call for the elders of the church, and they will anoint him with oil and pray over him in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will restore the one who is sick. And then finally, by saying to one another that if any among you is straying from the truth, turn him back. Let him know that he who turns a sinner from the error of his way will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. And so we get kind of James' heart, I think, in this, the urgency of his message to the scattered ones and to us today too, that in the midst of all that's going on, in the midst of all the disruptions and distractions, and whether they're from the world outside or the internal struggles within, like we talked about last week in chapter 4, James' focal point is this: the day of the Lord is drawing near. And so encouraging the church, encouraging the believers to know that they are about to experience the reward of their faith, and to not let anything get in the way of that. And so I hope you can join us on Sunday morning, 8:30 in the adult study room, where we'll be taking a look at this final chapter of James chapter 5. And then starting the following week, we'll be into the Old Testament, the book of Haggai. And so have a great day, and hope to see you this Sunday.